Here we go. We're going to start our video. Grab yourself some tea. I've got some happy tea here. Well, actually, it's not happy tea. It's called, you get it at Kroger's. It's Yogi Sweet Tangerine Positive Energy Tea. That's what I have. Positive energy. So grab yourself some tea, coffee, whatever you're drinking. Come on and sit down and talk to me. I'm going to answer some questions today that some of you have been asking me, and we're going to talk about my cancer journey from beginning to end. And stay tuned. So hello, oh my gosh, you girls are so wonderful. I would assume I have some guys out there. I don't know, but most of my subscribers are us women who stick together. Yes. And I so appreciate you. Thank you for all your prayers. Thank you for waiting for this video today, which is late. I had company, and then my son was on the phone from Arizona, and we talked for a couple of hours, and I can never turn down a call from my son in Arizona. And so then I was texting Gina back and forth. Well, anyway, sidetracked. Anyway, I'm a little late, but I'm going to talk to you today. Some people have asked me, have sent me emails, how do you accept this? How do you deal with this cancer journey that you're on? So today we're going to talk about accepting your cancer journey, the treatments, the fears, and staying positive. How do we do that when we get such a diagnosis? We're going to talk about that. But thank you all again. I got sidetracked again. Anyway, thank you all for coming. You know I love you so much. I could not, honest to goodness, as I talk about accepting my cancer diagnosis, I think that you women and you girls have put me on such a high, kind of a pedestal, if I may say so, and made me feel so important and so good that I really fight for you, because your prayers have just been wonderful. I go back probably, and sometimes I don't answer them. Yeah, I don't feel real great sometimes to sit there. My back hurts answering, blah, blah, blah. But I read them all. When you send me a prayer, you say nice, beautiful things that you always do. I read them all over and over again. So don't ever think that you're unnoticed. But I so appreciate you. And I don't know what I'd do without you. I think you're part of my accepting my cancer journey. You're the reason. And I wish everybody that's going through this could have a posse like I have to help us get over the hurdles. Some days when I just think I'm sliding down that slide, boy, I'm going down that slide, I just flip open my channel and I read some of your prayers and some of your comments, and man, I just walk right back up that slide, just like nobody's business. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. So yeah, but talking about accepting my cancer journey, you know, this guy, I don't have many notes here because I never have notes. But you know, I think the first time I knew I had a lump on my breast. I didn't know for a long time. I felt a little sore there, and I'd touch it a little bit, but I'm so used to touching I have fibrocystic breast disease. So, and I'm so used to, sorry, my jaws, it's another diagnosis I'll talk to you later about. But I'm so used to touching and feely, because I have that disease, that I sometimes stay away from like really touching it like I should and examining myself like I should. And I knew I had something going on. And I thought, oh, I better go have it checked, you know. Same old. I should go have it checked. Well, I went one day and it was really sore, and I did. I felt right here, and man, that thing was just popping right out into my bra, so to speak. And I thought, uh-oh. So I made an appointment, and I went to have a mammogram. And of course, the mammogram come back that I had a lump, and they had to do a biopsy. You know, they do all the treatment plans there in a row. They do the biopsy. You know, they'll do somewhat of a treatment plan, or where you should be next, or what's happening. So I'm trying to think. I had the exam, I had the mammogram, he scheduled me for the biopsy, I had the biopsy. The biopsy came back malignant. So my doctor sent me to have a PET scan at the point, because they felt that the breast lump was stage 4. So he wanted me to have a PET scan. Well, there was a big to-do about the PET scan in my insurance company. Anyway, I finally got it to where I got the PET scan, but it was like 2 months past. So I had the PET scan done. My doctor calls me. Now, I have a really wonderful doctor. I don't know what I would do without my doctor. He's magnificent. Sometimes, Denny and I all go like, I think we need to talk to Dr. Dean because we're having like a rough time thinking about this or this, that. We need some therapy. And I'll call up and make an appointment for him, and we'll go in to see him, and we feel better, and it's just the kind of a doctor he is. So, but he called me on the phone, and girls, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing when they call you on the phone with such a diagnosis. It was really tough. He called me and he says, well, Barbara, you have stage 4 breast cancer, and it has spread to your spine, which is why you have this tremendous pain in your spine. And I was like, okay. So we got past the phone call, and I got off the phone with him, and I said to my husband, as much as I love my doctor, I'm not sure whether having a phone conversation about such a big diagnosis as that one was that hit me was good or not. I don't know if your average person maybe could have taken that. It was just really hard to comprehend on the phone that, hey, Barbara, you have stage 4 cancer, by the way, and it's gone to your spine. It was kind of like, I felt like maybe for those instances that doctors should call you in the office and talk to you. I don't know if it should be like a phone conversation, but anyway, I took it. I said, okay, so what's next? So we did the procedures and the treatments, and I didn't have surgery. I only had the biopsy. So right about 3 weeks later, I got really sick. My spine was the worst thing. The pain in my spine, I didn't really have any breast pain from the breast mass, which is something that you got to really think about. It's very important to get your mammograms no matter what. And I'll tell you, I'm going to get sidetracked now, so I'm going to forget what I'm going to say here in a minute. I just know I am. But I read an article about breast cancer or cancer in older females. And it said that if you haven't gotten cancer by the time you are 80 or something, or 78, you never will, because your body you won't have cancer at that point. So in my mind, I was always thinking, I'll never get cancer. I'm already 75, 76, whatever I was when I read the article, so I'm probably not going to get breast cancer. So in my mind, I was thinking I'm too old to have breast cancer. Don't ask me, but that's what the article said, something to that effect. So I didn't really think I was going to, so I wasn't really too scared about it. But it turns out that article was kind of wrong when I read it. So maybe I misinterpreted or what, but you can get breast cancer, and you can get cancer when you're older at any age. Obviously I was 80. And I should have known, because my dad was 79 when he got lung cancer. And I should have known, but hindsight, I guess. Anyway, what was I saying? Now, see, I knew I was going to get sidetracked. I just knew it. Yeah, so I went into the hospital. I got really bad with my spine. My spine was the kicker one. I think the pain in my spine was, I couldn't sit. It would take my breath away. So I went to the hospital. And honest to goodness, I don't think that they were so sure I was going to make it. That was last year, 2023, February, beginning March maybe. And because the lesions on my spine were that bad, and they were all over the place. So it wasn't like a definite run I had down the spine. And it scares you when you have cancer in the spine. From there, I had the best, fastest staff ever. I'm telling you, they were just on it. But I went over and I went over to the radiation department, and they map you as where they're going to do the radiation. So they took CAT scans and they took MRIs, and so they mapped the area that they knew that they had to do the radiation on my spine and stuff. So I went through my first process in April. I had like 28, I believe it was 28 radiation to my upper spine. So I had that done, and it helped. Did I have it in the upper spine or the lower spine first? I think it was the upper spine. So I had that done first, and in and out of the hospital, at the beginning of the year I was. And so, I kind of was like, okay, so we're going to get through this. And I think the thing when you have cancer too, you right away think of your family. I mean, I was thinking more on the terms like, well, I've got to stay strong. And it's a good thing in a sense because of my family. I mean, what would happen if I left my family, my grandkids, and I mean, what would happen, you know? So I had to stay somewhat positive and keep a smile on my face for my grandkids. My daughter was like a mess. My husband was like beyond a mess. I mean, if I got a pain, I couldn't say anything. I almost had to keep it in. I don't know if that's bad or good, but because he would just start to cry. He would be like a mess. And it was, you know, going through, I think, with the family, with your family, if you have lucky enough to have your family close and you have the support of your family, that I think they keep you on top of it because they're such worry warts themselves. And you find yourself being extra strong and positive, more so for them, because they fall apart. So I found myself, you know, having pain, but go, oh yeah, no, I'm okay, you know, a little gas, you know. But you find yourself doing that. It's like crazy. But you know, but I had that done, and I was fine. I got through that procedure, so I accepted that, and we went on to the next round that I was going on. So then after that, it was a couple month maybe later, they did another, they still had some pain in the lower spine. So they did another CAT scan, another MRI. They found some tumors on the low part of the spine. So again, right away, they popped me in and I went in for radiation of the lower spine. So I think I had 10 rounds of that, which is 10 days. They do them all in a row, 10 days in a row. I think they give you a break. I had a break, got rid of the radiation, and then, my back was just so sore. And I think the radiation didn't help the nerve endings. So you find yourself when you're diagnosed with I'm talking about me with cancer, that you have a lot of different aches and pains that you didn't have before. And it's kind of like everything you have, you go, oh boy, this is it. This is a big one, Elizabeth. This is something else. You know, in your mind, you're thinking that. And then you quickly have to get rid of that because, you know, you can't keep thinking everything you get is related to your cancer because, you know, gas is not necessarily related to cancer. So, but you do think that way. Yeah. I mean, you know, you really do. And so I just think I got past all that and realized that, you know, I got to come to terms with this, that I have to accept this, and whatever's coming is going to come, and not necessarily everything that I get is coming from my cancer, that I am 80 and I am going to have these things, you know. But I know the back pain, all of you have been so worried and still are about my back pain. And it's like right over the kidneys areas. It's back in that area back there. And it's just really sore all the time. And I think my doctor said it's like nerve damage from the radiation too. You know, you do get some nerve damage, let's face it, from the radiation. Whether it's, I don't want to say burning because that sounds like they burned me, but it's just part of the process, I think. And since it was all over my spine, I'm bound to get some side effects like that. So that's why I went, you know, because of the pain in my back, I went to see the pain specialist, the pain management, to see about this pain pump. But I think I talked about this before. Somebody asked me about that. I didn't finish my conversation on the pain pump, but I thought I did. I went through it all, but I didn't feel that at this point I wanted to have the pain pump. There was a lot that I had to go through. I had to go psychological evaluation for a few days to see if I was psychologically able to take this pump. You know, I had to be ready every 3 months to have the pump filled because it distributes the pain in your body sporadically when you need it, and it just goes to your spine. It doesn't go all over your body. It's like when you take a pain pill and you have a headache. I mean, before it gets to your headache and cures your headache, that you feel better, it hits other parts of your body that aren't necessarily need a pain pill for. So, but that's kind of like the pain pump is put in your body so that it goes automatically to the spot that's hurting you. So it automatically went to the spine because that's the part that needed pain relief. So that, I think, and the fact that the doctor said I was petite. Oh my God, nobody's called me petite my whole life, but he said, "You're very petite, Barbara." And that it's like a pump. It's like a hockey puck, I guess, that they insert in the inside of your back there, Well, I'm so petite that it would have stuck out. He wanted me to know that it would stick out of my skin. It's under the skin, but it would have stuck out because I'm so petite. Oh my God. And that's the other thing that bothers me, I think, the most about accepting this whole diagnosis thing is the weight that I've lost. Just the bones, I can't look at them even up here. I mean, it is what it is. If I was this weight naturally, you're probably looking at me going, well, what's wrong with that? I have that too. And you're probably nice and thin and you're older. You're going to get this anyway. But boy, I'm telling you, to be 100, now I was overweight, I think. I was 170 pounds. So I was a little overweight, I think, for myself. I was 5'5" they put me at when I first was diagnosed, 5'4.5". And so 170, 68 pounds wasn't too bad. Well, then I dropped all this weight. My appetite went, and I just have a hard time eating. And so I went down to like what I am now is 123. So that's a lot of weight for little 81-year-old me to lose. And I think that's the thing that bothers me the most is that I see where people that go on these diets or have their stomach done or they lose all this weight, what they do with this skin, because I am just so thin, that I need a skin pulling. I need somebody behind me just to walk behind me like this and hold on, Babsy. You just walk and hold the skin. Hold the skin nice and taut while I walk so it does. Because, I'm like really, But anyway, but I'm alive, so I'm not just for joking purposes. I'm not upset that, I'm alive. That's the most important thing. But for humor side, I can just picture somebody walking behind me, holding my skin together as I walk, because it's just there all like loose. So, and I never had that in my life. I went on the table the other day. I had my CAT scans done because I had another series of CAT scans done the other day. I do not have that report back. I was hoping I'd have that report back for you today, but I don't. But they put me on the table and they put my legs together. And when they put my legs together and my knees hit, my thighs always touched because they were always chunky. And so I had all this meat. So I looked down and I see my knees together and I had this big hole in my thighs because I don't have any fat there anymore. So I thought, oh my gosh, look at that. Years ago, I would have said, oh my gosh, look at that. That's wonderful. Now I go, oh my gosh, look at that. But I was surprised, but whatever. It is what it is. But like I say, I'm glad I'm alive. But I think the weight loss is just trying to gain weight. It scares me. They want me to put on 10 pounds. And I'm trying to, but it's hard. And now I have this other diagnosis, which I'll tell you about shortly, that is also preventing me from eating a little bit. So I had that. So Denny's out buying me Ensure and making sure that I eat well, making sure I'm trying to eat 3 meals a day. My daughter's calling me, did you eat lunch today? Did you get your 3 meals in? And I'm like, yes, I did, even though maybe I didn't. Lunch is the worst. I'm like, I don't feel like eating, but I do. I eat what I can. I do really well as I can right now. So I'm staying positive, and I think I'm staying positive. Oh God, got that puberty voice. That didn't change from, my treatment plan. But I think I'm doing okay. I think that accepting it, you have to accept it. You just can't go off, on the deep end and go, oh my God, I got a cancer diagnosis. And you can, but I mean, it's not going to change it. You've just got to ride with it and accept it and do the best that you can. And think about the other people too in your family. It's not always about you. It is when you're sick. You need your family for support. I don't mean to say that, but I mean, they're suffering too. Your family is suffering tremendously. Your grandkids are suffering tremendously. They have a hard time accepting it themselves that maybe, I'm not going to be around or, I'm not going to be here for them. And that's upsetting to them. So I have to maintain some kind of calmness and positivity around them. And when the time comes, if it ever does, we're all going to go for something, I know. We can't stop the inevitable, the end date. So you have to stay positive for everybody. Oh, there's my cardinal. Every time I sit here and do a video, girls, my little red cardinal comes. I always say that's my son, Jeffy. He comes. He used to love when I did videos, which is another thing when my son passed away. He left us all with such a void in our lives. It hurt to the core when he passed away. And It still does. I'm not saying it doesn't, but I mean, I think his death made me realize now that I can't leave my family in such dismay. I have to let them know that I'm happy and that life has been good and that they've been wonderful, and death is just a part of life, I guess. And I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. So I'm trying my best to stay positive. What I have now is the craziest thing, because I was taking this medication for my bone. I have bone cancer, and oh, he moved on to the next branch. Oh, how cute that is. Look, he's just swaying me up there. How cute he is. Anyway, I had bone cancer. So they gave me this medication infusion for my bone cancer. And they had asked me, they said, do you have any trouble with your teeth? And I said, well, no, I don't. And they said, okay, well, there's a correlation between this medicine and your teeth or something. And I go, oh, no, I don't know. I'm okay. So I was okay. So I took that infusion. I think I started it last March. So I had it all the way through like the beginning of October. Well, the beginning of October, my teeth started to go. And they said it was probably from the chemo pills, or, the radiation sometimes can cause, your teeth to go bad, or some people's eyes go bad. It depends. So, but my teeth started to go. So I had this abscess in the tooth. My dentist took it out, and it just didn't seem to heal right. And I was telling him, I said, this is like really painful. It's not healing. So he sent me, the other tooth next to it went, and he sent me to a specialist, and the specialist took out the tooth next to it. And I said, this is just not right. And so he asked me, he said, are you on this medication? And he gave me the name of it. And he said, are you on this medication for your cancer? And I said, yes. He said, well, that's what's causing these abscesses in your gums to not heal, this medication. There's a correlation between that and your gums from healing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're kidding me. So come to find out that that's the truth. I asked my oncologist about it, and it was truthful. So I had to get off of the infusion, the bone infusion. Not all of the medications work the same. It's not true with everybody, but in my case, it happened. And so what ended up happening is the abscess got down into my jaw, and they call it necrosis, which is when your jaw kind of deteriorates and, I don't know, for lack of better terminology, I guess it like rots away. I don't know how else to say that without saying it's so awful, but it's, your jaw is deteriorating. The abscess has gone like all the way here down into my throat and into my neck. And the pain is just, I don't know. I keep telling my husband, I said, this is worse than my cancer pain. And he goes, you better think again. And I'm like, I am thinking again. And I really think this is worse than my cancer pain. And he goes, yeah, okay. So, but anyway, it's just, if you ever had a toothache, or some of you have thought that this was a dry socket, and it's not a dry socket. It didn't have anything to do with being a dry socket. It's just this abscess that set in down there that abscessed this whole area. I'm on antibiotics for it. I'm on an antibiotic mouthwash. It's terrible. I go to the doctor again on April 24th, and I guess what they do is I don't know what they do. They grind it down. They get down to your bone in your jaw. It's too much information for you, I know. But anyway, they scrape it and get all the abscess out and put you on an IV antibiotic, and I guess maybe I spend the night at the hospital. I'm not sure the whole procedure yet. I'll find that out in April. But I'm going April 24th. I was supposed to go to the university out here of Michigan to have it done, but they couldn't see me till like the end of July. I couldn't wait till the end of July. And I didn't want to go in too early in April because it's our 50th wedding anniversary on April 20th, girls. Yes, it is. And so I didn't want to go and have any procedures done then for fear that the pain would be so bad I would be talking like this on my 50th anniversary. And so I thought, well, the 24th is good. The family will have left and gone back. So I haven't done that. So I'm talking too much. Let's have a little sip of tea a little bit. This one says, find your happy place. So I'm finding my happy place. Let's drink some tea. Salute. That's good. That energy tea is really good. I'm telling you, I'm going to be talking fast any minute now. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about accepting your cancer diagnosis, and there's a lot to accepting it from the moment that the doctor calls you to the treatment plans, to watching your way to eating what you should, to drinking your Ensure. Make sure that you drink, as much water as you can. I don't drink a whole lot of water like I should. I found out through all this process that I can only drink spring water. I can't drink purified water. Purified water makes me nauseous. Go figure. I don't know. I have so many different taste buds that popped up through all this well, there's two more that came. Oh, she chased them all away. Anyway, yeah. Sidetrack. But yeah, there's a lot of taste buds. My taste buds have changed. So many things that I don't like now that I did like before, which is another thing. But yeah, for my weight gain, I lost my taste buds for food. I'm not really into taste anymore. It's like crazy. So I really have to watch that and force myself to eat foods that normally I loved before, and all of a sudden I don't know what happened. I don't love them. And you have to expect those things. So if you're dealing with a cancer diagnosis, you can't panic over the things that you used to like, that all of a sudden you don't like, and oh my God, I must be dying because I don't like this, there's something wrong with me. All these things are just part of the process of having, in my case, cancer. I can't speak for other diseases that are out there, but for my case of cancer, my taste buds have changed. So many things in my body have changed. I'm cold more often than I was before. I'm shivering more often. Denny's got like a little electric blanket that he hooks up for me on the couch over here, and I have that recliner. If you don't have a recliner and you're sick, spend the money, and if you can, invest in a couch recliner, a chair recliner or something, because I'm telling you, it's the greatest thing that, I don't know what I would have done without it. So he hooks me up with my electric blanket, not a heating pad, but it's a blanket. And I sit there, and some nights I'm just so cold. I have my fireplace behind me, and I have that on, and he's like lifting up his shirts, and he's got his shirt lifted up above his belly, and he's got his pants rolled up, and I go, uh-oh, I must be in trouble because he's sweating like crazy, and I'm over here like freezing. So, some of that stuff is just that you go through is just so normal that you can't panic over it, like taste buds, being cold, losing your hair, but thank goodness, we have wigs. By the way, this is Jessica that you asked before in Caramel Kiss that I bought from Beth's Boutique. I will list her boutique in there, but she's all up, Jessica. I love the color, the Caramel Kiss. I love the color, but I just put her up today for you in an updo, but she's really curly. She's cute down too, but this is her. But I'll put the name and stuff and where I got her in the description box. But anyway, so you have wigs. You can't panic over your hair too much. If you lost your hair, my hair is just so thin compared to what it used to be. It's like crazy. But those are things that you have to accept. There's so many things that you have to accept that, like, normally if you didn't have cancer and those things happen, you'd probably really panic. But you got to remember that these are all part of the process of dealing with a disease that's foreign to your body that you just have to learn to accept. And if you have anything that you're going through now that you don't understand or that you just can't figure out, just, send me a message and I'll tell you if I had it, or, some things are probably coming I don't even have yet. My mother used to always say, well, if I don't have it today, look at it, I'm going to get it tomorrow. So, you just never know what's happening. But you have to just learn to accept them. And accepting a cancer diagnosis is accepting the whole bouquet that you're given of things that are going to change in your body. And you can't worry about them every day. You can't think about them every day. You just have to get up and be thankful that you're here today and that you have another day, and that you just accept what's coming and what you have. And I know pain is not the greatest, believe me. I am positive, and I do try to stay positive, but having this back pain is not easy to deal with. I'm going to be honest with you, it's not. But what can you do? I have to. So I can't pole dance anymore. So what? Are you going to hold that against me? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But anyway, there's things that you can't do that, you could do before. But actually, I'm 81, so there's a lot of things I can't do now that I could do like 10 years ago. So go figure. So, but I wanted to touch base with you because some of you are having a hard time accepting it, and you really can't. You have to accept it. You have to understand it. You have to know your body. Everybody's different. You might be sitting out there going, "Oh, I have cancer and I don't have that," and that's great. It's wonderful that you don't. But for those of us who have these little side effects and things, you just have to accept them as part of life and part of life. And I say that with emphasis, part of life, because I am living, and it's been over a year and a half that I've been dealing with this, and with all your prayers and God's help, oh my gosh, where would I be? Yeah, I don't know where I'd be without God's help walking next to me and somebody to talk to every day. If I do get down, I always have a friend in me. What is that song? You got a friend in me. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, I love that. So anyway, I wanted to talk to you a little bit, touch base a little bit with you about, about my diagnosis. Where I'm going from here, I don't know. I'm going to get this abscess fixed. I hope and pray that I do and it goes away. I am going to see what my CAT scans reveal. I'll try to put something maybe on my community tab or put up a short to let you know how my CAT scans reports are doing. I'm hoping they came back the same as my last ones, which my last ones showed that I had no new growth, no new anything. It was kind of in remission. So I'm hoping that this one will be the same. And if not, I have to accept it and keep plugging along, keep taking my medicine, doing what the doctors say. Like I say, I got a great bunch of doctors. They're just absolutely, absolutely amazing, my doctors. Just, I mean, when I tell you that God dropped these doctors in front of me, he must have. Because I hear so many stories of, oh, I had the worst doctor. My doctor was this. He had no bedside manner. I don't know why I'm so privileged, but I've had a path of doctors just bloop, 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 just dropped in front of me that have been great. I might have had, I think I told you before, I might have had one lady in the hospital, a physician, a female, who was not very nice. And I think she knew I didn't appreciate her. But I didn't take her home with me. She wasn't part of my entourage, of doctors that I kept. She was just a hospital doctor. But everybody's been so wonderful, so kind, so gracious. I'm amazed. My cancer doctor is great. Like I said, my family doctor, my PCP is wonderful. Whether I like the fact that he called me on the phone to tell me such a diagnosis, I'm not sure if that's right. If you ever forced against this, maybe tell your doctor before you start that, hey, if you find anything, I'd appreciate if I could come into the office and talk to you, good or bad. I would appreciate that instead of on the phone, because I don't know if saying such a diagnosis is great to leave you alone on the phone with. I don't know if I would choose that again. I didn't really choose that because I didn't really know not to choose it. But it is what it is. I accepted it and we went on. So nothing I can do about it now. But anyway, I am good. I am staying positive. I am fixing myself up, pain or no pain. I know most of you believe that. I do my skin. My skin is just amazing with my Elafrida. I've talked about it before. I'm not going to talk about it today. But I tell you, I don't know what I would have done without this. Even my chest, for as skinny as I've been and wrinkly as I've been, my Elafrida has kept me so firm and full and so not wrinkled. I mean, really, you can see me up close. I mean, I can't see me that good. And that's the other thing, too. I think I mentioned before, too, your eyes get a little bit different. I have to go get another eye exam, but they're a little blurry. I've noticed lately. So those are some of the changes that you're going to notice. But it's good because I can't see myself. So I don't know. I think I look pretty good, but maybe I look pretty bad. I don't know. No, but I keep myself up. I do my massaging. I lay in bed and watch my pimple poppers and do my massaging. I love those pimple poppers. It's just, I must be, I say sometimes, why am I salivating watching pimple poppers? I mean, what's wrong with me? I think there's something wrong with me. Ricky, there's something wrong with me. Anyway, so I'm going to go. This is longer than I wanted it to be. I'm sorry that it's late to getting up. I wanted to have it up this morning. Didn't feel real great this morning, and early this morning because of my job. It's kind of in the afternoon it goes away, but like I say, I talked to my son and I can't wait to see him on the 16th. I'm going to try to pull him in to do a little short video so you can meet my son and my granddaughter. And yeah, it's gonna be nice. So 50 years, wow. And I almost got him trained. See, that's the great thing. He's almost to perfection, he is. No, I couldn't have married a better guy. I think that if I could change anything about him, I would change the fact that he's just so emotional and so over me that, you know, I mean, it keeps me strong, I guess, because he goes, "Are you all right? Is everything all right?" And I go, "Yeah, no, I'm 100% ducky there. I'm just fine." So it keeps me on the straight and narrow. So anyway, and the other thing too, I wanted to tell you, as I go, I'm talking about a different diagnosis and different things. You'll find too that your voice, maybe some of you have had cancer diagnosis, you find that your voice kind of is changing, it's cracking a little bit. It's all part of the process. So don't worry about it. Like I can be talking and I can tell my voice changes. It gets real high sometimes. Sometimes I'm talking up here and sometimes I'm like really low. So your voice is part of the process too of things changing a little bit. Just things that can happen to you. I don't want you to worry about. It is what it is. Accept it, I guess. Nothing you can do. So thank you so much for coming into my living room today. I appreciate it. I didn't have any food for you today. I'm really sorry, but maybe the next time you come over, I'll have some cupcakes for you and stuff, and we can have our little party. But yeah, Joe the bartender is over at Kroger's picking up my Ensure. And any fat thing he can get his hands on. He reads labels now. You know, not for calories, like, you know, this is low in calories. He buys me things that are high in calories. I find that funny. I don't know. It's just funny. So thanks for coming by. I so appreciate you. And I hope you like Jessica. And I hope I'm helpful to you. That's all I want to be, is helpful to you. That, you know, accepting this diagnosis is a scary process. And if I can be a help to you to know that, you know, what to expect and what not to expect and how to keep yourself cheerful and your skin looking radiant, I hope to do that for you, because that's my goal. When I started my channel is to make you the best version that you can, whether you're not sick or whether you're sick. So I love you girls. Thanks for coming by. You'll be watching this at midnight tonight, and I'm so sorry. But anyway, I'll talk to you soon. I love you. Keep praying for me because it does help. Talk to you soon. I love you. Bye.